Good day, students. Welcome again to an exciting educational video. This is Dr. Luisito Masanga at your service. Shout out and thank you very much to those students from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao who are faithfully and consistently watching my educational video. To these students, a warm round of applause to all of you. Mabuhay. Our topic for today is about basic concepts of disaster. And our learning outcomes at the end of the educational video, students will be able to identify different types and examples of disaster. Number two, identify the basic concepts that constitutes a disaster. Number three, identify the differences between hazards and risks. And number four, understand the different hazards. We have two types of disaster. We have natural disaster and man-made disaster. For natural disaster, this is a large-scale geological or meteorological events that have the potential to cause loss of life or property. And the types of disaster that we all know are tornadoes and severe storms, hurricanes and tropical storms, floods, wildfires, earthquakes, and drought. For man-made or human-caused disaster, we have industrial accidents, shootings, acts of terrorism, incidents of mass violence, and these types of man-made disasters may cause traumatic events and may also cause loss of lives and properties. They may also prompt evacuations from certain areas and overwhelm behavioral health resources in the affected communities. That is why in some traumatic events there are debriefing or post-traumatic stress disorder intervention procedures being implemented by government authorities or experts. Before we can understand this basic formula for disaster, let us first define what is a disaster. A disaster is a sudden, quick, unexpected, calamitous event that seriously disrupts the functioning of a community or society and causes human, material, and economic or environmental losses that exceed the community's or society's ability to cope using its own resources. Though often caused by nature, disaster can also be caused by human origin as well. Let us first proceed to defining what is capacity. Capacity in this statement suggests that these are the resources available to individuals, households, and communities to cope with a threat or to resist the impact of a hazard. Such resources can be physical or material, but they can also be found in a way a community is organized or in the skills or attributes of individuals and or organizations in the community. And next, we define what is vulnerability. Vulnerability is the diminished negative capacity of an individual or group to anticipate, react, cope, resist, and recover from the impact of a natural or man-made hazard. Vulnerability also can be in the form of poverty. For example, it may mean that a housing is unable to withstand an earthquake or a hurricane, or lack of preparedness may result in a slower response to a disaster, leading to a greater loss of life and prolonged suffering. That is vulnerability, or in other words, it means weakness defenseless, unprotected, susceptible. This is vulnerability. And the hazard is these are things or probability that a hazard may happen to us or not. No? There is a probability that it may or it may not happen. And hazards will be discussed in the previous slides so that we can better understand hazard. So in other words, the combination of vulnerability and hazard and the inability to reduce the potential negative consequences of risk is equal to disaster. So disaster occurs when a hazard impacts on vulnerable people. Let's try to see some different natural disasters. This is a hurricane. No? Look at the panel, very slim and very strong. So if you are exposed in this kind of hazard and you have a weakness or no protective, no? Like for example, this house, no? It has no basement, so it leads to catastrophe. Earthquake and volcanic eruption. Look at this picture of an earthquake that really, I really don't know what kind of magnitude is this, but look at the buildings, no? It went slanted and some, the foundations are really broken. And the volcanic eruption that, especially in Taal, that happened January of 2020. And also, we have flooding and landslide. This is also prone to the Philippines. Like what happened in Typhoon Ulysses that happened to Cagayan and Marikina River. And we have also man-made disaster. Like for example, this massive, no? Massive killing, no? And this terrorism of World Trade Center or Tower, no? 9/11, September 11. These are acts of terrorism and these are man-made. Industrial accidents may happen and massive killing, no? Or shooting incident. So we discuss now the different types of hazard. Let us first define what is a hazard. A hazard is any source of potential damage or harm or adverse health effects on something or someone. Basically, a hazard is the potential for harm or an adverse effect. For example, to people as health effects, to organizations as property or equipment losses, or to the environment. The hazard of the COVID-19 pandemic. While a risk is the chance or probability that a person will be harmed or experience an adverse health effect if exposed to hazard. And it may also apply to situations with property or equipment loss or harmful effects on the environment. And we have chemical hazard as one. Chemical hazards, example are dust, fumes, mist, gases, or vapors. We have also physical hazards. These are noise, vibration, extreme exposure to, hot and cold temperatures and pressures, radiation, magnetic fields. We have also biological hazards, no? Like COVID-19, bacteria, viruses, insects, no? Mosquitoes that are giving dengue, sickness, rats, no? The urine of rats, plants, birds, animals, human, soil, water, no? Diarrhea, and structures. We have also ergonomic hazards. This is musculoskeletal disorders due to heavy lifting or improper postures, overexertion, improper use of tools, and repetitive movements. No? That's why you will really have to reduce or eliminate this kind of hazards. And we have also psychosocial, which is like example, stress and violence. So these are the different hazards. And the basic concepts of disaster, our review of literature references are three. Thank you very much for these references. And once again, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing the channel. All right, and always keep safe, everyone. I'll see you next time.